came into my mouth. Definitely Alu on Mirage, but it's never a bad idea to watch Rain or anyone on
basically
FaZe,
anyone. Yeah. Star-studded lineup.
Nico's the easy pick, but Alu's my bro, and I expect him to deliver on Mirage as per usual. FaZe starting on the CT side.
Indeed, and it's going to be interesting to see who does start off well first individually. I think Kiyoshima often goes understated on such a crazy team with so many stars, but Flipsid there on the T side, and Blade, of course, is quite well known for having very difficult T sides to deal with, quite the strategical mastermind of Counter-Strike. As long as he can control his teammates, that's the, as you said before, that's the only thing really there. Well, we've got Nico looking down middle, and he should soon have some fun.
Kishima spotting some players, but again, it is the pistol. Bedlam is all but guaranteed. Bomb left. See, Blade, he was facing ramp, but not with the bomb. Didn't want to give any info away, but now he's starting to move up. But he's not going to get anything done with that Deagle. Wilder and Markelov remain trying to do what they can. Alu and Reina tagged, but 1 versus 4. Definitely doable for Wildernet, but the odds are very small. Alu off to a good start. Said to look for him. He's got himself a 3k in the pistol, so definitely going to be good for the mental boost, you know, for the momentum. Definitely when your AWPers killing people all the time, keep them in good confidence. Although you can see Alu is a very focused man at all times. Even in the greatest of pop-offs, you'd be surprised to see him smiling. That man is a killing machine.
I like how we see a lot of FAMAS here from FaZe, instead of, you know, opting to go for a lot of UMPs. People are starting to favour the FAMAS just for the fact that you can be a bit more dynamic, and should you find yourself at a long range, then you're going to be a bit more effective than the UMP. Ooh, my goodness gracious me! Waylander, 2-1 Deegs, looking for number 3. That would be outrageous stuff there from him. Already it is outrageous. That's starting with a bang in round number 2 from Mr. Waylander. Where's the response? How do you respond to that?
You can't. You're on the CT side. You are at the mercy of the Ts to a certain degree. That's not the only Deagle on the server, although I don't remember seeing Blade use a Deagle before, so we'll see what he gets up to. Numbers game can quickly disappear. Only 1 player with a helmet, only 3 players with Kevlar, so FaZe can quickly spin things around to more of an even keel, but easier said than done. Kishima outside B, keeping an off angle in the crawl space, while the remainder of his team on the A side needs to make the right play. But there's the kill from Blade. 5 versus 2. Blade will get picked off, but there's so many people alive for Flipsid.
They've got the bomb down here. Nice open plant for them to play with. Positions all over the place now, leaving Kiyoshima with that FAMAS vid taking all kinds of tags here until he is dead. Electronic with the frags, and wow. Those
are brazen peaks from Electronic. Considering he's got 1 or maybe even 2 players near connector, they can be the initial peeker, then he can pop out and you've got a 2 versus 1 at least instantly. But no, he's just good. No, I'm just going to peek with P250 and kill. It's fine, don't worry. I got this, boys.
This is actually insane here, these 1Ds, because, okay, Alu, but then the second player, or Nico, just sitting there, you expect, I think we were on Nico's pop, and you kind of expect Nico to be like, okay, there's a guy top mid, just going to go out, peek and kill him now, but he takes one in the face as well. Mac 10 for Blade, and quick rush on to B.
Yeah, and it seems they're committed. I like that they have late flashes while they emerge through the balcony as well. More on that later, as it seems there's a return of fortune. Kishima drawing the gun but can't fire it quite in time, but they still have the man advantage. There are tags, and now it's Nico's turn to get a Deagle off. He's got himself 1, looking for one at his head as well. He's getting tagged, Nico. Well, then down to 28 HP. Both these team players now can get taken down by just 1 shot from this Deagle. Ali on the high ground with a P250, hasn't spotted the player to his left. Both kills somehow managed by Flipsid. At the end, they're very, very close. Might have had some luck to get away with that one.
That is crazy. 1 player survived with 8 health, the other 7. That's nuts.
I think Ali plays 4x3, doesn't he? Because I feel like if he's 16-9, he sees that guy, but such is life. The guy who plays 4x3. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I am guessing. I think he would have seen him if he was 69. But anyway, it is what it is. And what it is 2-1 to Flipsid. They just hold on to that one. They managed to retain. Not the start that Rain wanted again. One of these teams is going home. One of these teams is eliminated. One of these teams has credentials removed. No more access to the kitchen. It's time to go home.
I think for a lot of people, they would have expected to see FaZe in the finals. I think it's a realistic expectation for many, but Flipside looking to stop that here on day number 3. It's Waylander with the spray down there in the middle. Only getting 2 though. It's just USPs, I think only it's a single P250 and they've managed to get 2 kills. Pick up a Galil here on Alu. Be careful with that one though, and he will. Oh my! Oh, what on earth just happened there? Wow, that's a Bardolph move.
Yeah, and he's going to have a reasonable rotation towards the A site as the last 2 players come in. So Karragan's made the right reads. He has an angle. There's a tight angle he can hold from his position, but he's gone for a more forward one to stop the cross into A. He's gone for an off angle. He's subject to the aim punch, but still manages to get the 1 kill, but only the 1. Another tight round, but Flipside win again. But let's consider the economic investment from Flipside. FaZe didn't have much in that round.
I feel like Karragan's quite unlucky not to get the fast first headshot there. I think, you had a good angle, but the AK is not always incredibly reliable, especially at ranges like that for that first bullet precision. And once you get tagged with the with that Kevlar, that aim punch starts to prove problematic. And yeah, wow, that's that's actually insane. The timing there of Electronic looking to the right, that's actually unreal. At least he did get a boost of cash there. Did Karragan $1,500 for the knife kill, highest kill reward that you can get by far. Here's a set piece execution onto the A site here from Flipside.
Those are quite the Molotovs. Presumably there's one close to the triple position. They're all over the place. Sandwich and the shadow area. Rain checks for and taken down. Nico pushing through the smoke. Quick burst. Not finding anything. But eventually getting punished. This is a disastrous start for FaZe, but they're not out of the round just yet. They're still committed. Karragan, Kishima in jungle and the connector. Karragan, sorry, jumping out of window into connector now. You have there in CT. Finding the kills coming in, but only the 1. 1-for-1 is not good enough here for the CT side. And now Karragan still pushing forward in a 1 versus 4, doing what he can, but it's not going to be much in that situation. 4-1 for Flipside. We said they were dangerous, and they are proving it at early on in this Mirage game.
Yeah, that execution was nuts, wasn't it? There's just so many Molotovs. I think maybe even all 5 Molotovs at once thrown by the T side into the various positions. Nowhere to stand on the bomb site, and it's hard to deal with that when it's executed so flawlessly as it was by Flipside. We did see staggered flashbangs coming in as well from both teams, so absolute madness. From Flipside, they seem to know exactly what round to play at the perfect time. We'll see how long that lasts, though. As once again, FaZe are down onto an eco. Not too much to say for themselves in this round, but it's in rounds like this where we've seen the most damage from FaZe, so can't count them out ever.
Yeah, and a lot of money's been spent on this eco. Karragan with the scout, that's $1,700, leaving him with 15. So it's an interesting investment into the cash. Crossfire for the CT side. The kills were raided for both teams. 3 versus 2. Quickly down to the 2-on-2. Karragan looking for more tags. Markaloff, will he survive another shot? Depends on where it is. And that one was close. And Karragan will run distraction while Kishima gets in position to Steagle. Does a lot of damage, but the aim punch will stop it, leaving Karragan alone. Where is the rotation of Markaloff? Okay, goes underneath. Did wonder if he went short. Now, if Karragan runs towards B, he will be heard by Wonder, who has the angle. Crisis averted again. These ecos are really coming far too close to Flipside.
Yeah, you can already see a lot of frustration there onto the FaZe side.
I'm telling you, man, the FaZe Clan TV is going in the pool if they go 0-3 in this major.
Yeah, and you can see that, as you said, the draw that they get Flipside here. This is a really tough situation that they find themselves in. They're going to have to muster themselves. All of their mental constitution needs to come into play here. All of that mental strength. They must stay strong when things look difficult here. Flipside 5-1. Once again, a buy from FaZe. Up onto Alu. He's peeking into middle from connector at the moment. He has support of Nico as well. So at the moment, FaZe detect that there's nothing going on in middle. So they might start to wonder, what are Flipside up to?
Do you think Flipside's T side will be stronger than their CT side, or should be stronger on this map against this opponent?
I think they have a strong T and CT side, but I think their T side can particularly be troubling for a lot of teams.
So I do wonder then what their goal is in terms of rounds. Or if teams even have
16-1,
goals.
James.
16-1? I meant in this half, so I do worry about that.
I don't think they think of that. I think they just try to
win
get
every
as
round
many
one
as
at
they
a
can.
time, yeah. All the rounds.
All of the rounds.
5-1, not a terrible start by any means for the Flipside team. FaZe Clan at max loss bonus, and they don't want to stay there. They want to be in that W column. Alu making his way out of connector by the stairs, looking for entrance towards A, but it seems like it's going to be a B. Very important smoke on that short position, allowing them to be obscured as they make their way into short B. And there we go. Kiyoshima's going to get taken down in isolation. Carrigan at the back. He really needs help. He's in a good position though, and he could play it slow if he's allowed to, but no. Electronic with a great angle. The B site is theirs.
It's a really smart way to clean this side up, and Nico will hold on to the window position, but it looks like they're going to likely be thinking of the save here. Indeed, they have not really any cash to spend, but they do have a big loss bonus, so they can get a very solid buy into the next round. But yeah, I do like how Electronic, once again, Electronic cleared the site, because if you consider he enters from short, his teammates haven't really been able to break through the apartments fully yet, and he takes a pretty deep angle straight up against the wall towards the window, in towards the shop area, and of course you can see so many positions there, catches Carrigan. It really makes Carrigan's position very weak all of a sudden, so it's really nice movement to take the site effectively, and we'll see Flipside with that extra round now. 6-1. It looks so smooth for them. Just right selection of rounds. All the pressure's on FaZe at the moment.
And how much pressure that is. 6-1. Because they saved 3 weapons and their loss bonus is 3,400, the CTs can drop rifles for their brethren. That might make them short on grenades, the people who drop that. They'll have a good buy. It won't be a bad buy by any means. A tactical timeout from FaZe, of which 11 seconds remain. So, looking at the scoreboard, well, there isn't much going on for the team. Blade must be happy with things at the moment. They're 6-1. He is 1 for 6, ironically, but he's the in-game leader. As long as the pieces are moving around as instructed, then he'll be a happy chappy.
I think these pauses for the CT side, it's often quite difficult on the CT side, because you can't necessarily have too much of a game plan change. It's more or less just getting everybody on the same page, getting everybody focused and grounded again to be ready to play with the best efficacy in the rounds to come. And that's a close miss there from World, but a miss all the same. Good information as to the fact that they are playing into connector quite quickly. But where will be the initial pressure here from Flipside? We can see Waylander is making his way down underpass. And it does look like with the bomb and also with Blades supporting the bomb by the T-pit position that they do look to finish into an A split.
This is very curious. Are they going to show the bomb in this situation? Because they've dropped 2 smokes towards the jungle area. And indeed, whether it's going to peek with the bomb. I wondered if it would be like a double fake. But no, they're just going to go for the entries of those 2 men despite the isolation, and so far so good. Waylander getting a pick-off, making his way through jungle. It's a 3-pronged assault now. CT's Rain isolated on the site. Can they depend on him, as they always do?
Yeah, really great use of utility here from Flipside. Just cutting off Alu by short, and look how much space they get because of that. Markov able to get a 2K onto the bomb site. The bomb will be planted as well, leaving Carrigan and Alu to rotate, but they don't have, once again, all that much space to work with. Confined to attacking from CT spawn, and that is by design by Flipside, and the way in which they've taken this bomb site and how they've set up their post-plant positions now, as the flash will be tossed in. Carrigan with a nice there, gets Alu with the frag. We get a second one, but there's just simply too much work to be done and not enough players with which to do it. And that's another round for Flipside, and another amazing execution. Just the way that they did that with the timing was really beautiful.
Yeah, it works out for Flipside again, 7-1. FaZe have won the pistol, and then they have been absent from the win column. Nowhere to be seen, nowhere near it either. There's no dot on the radar for FaZe at the moment. On the buy once more. Again, that loss bonus is going to be throwing money at them, but It's up to them to convert. Big flashes coming in. Players spotted. Is the communication there for Flipside? The Molotov's going down to isolate these players to allow Flipside to get into both better post-plant situation. 4 on 3 now. And the Molotovs and grenades continue. One being planted for sure. No lurking necessary as they are holding steadfast on the site. Final 2 CTs in CT, but what can they do in this situation?
Once again, an exact same situation, but even worse than the previous round, just at a faster pace from Flipside. What an immense effort they've been putting in so far to completely just shake the grounds that FaZe stand on. And they can't seem to find their footing. And right now it's all about Blade just being in the head of FaZe and understanding exactly what FaZe will read. And playing, you know, one step ahead of it, throwing them off balance continuously. So what's the next round? What is the next curveball that will be thrown at FaZe by Blade? That's the question for FaZe to answer right now.
What's next for FaZe at present is a timeout. 8-1. I mean, it's difficult for them to even get aggressive and try and take the game away from Flipside. Flipside are prepared. They're ready for a slow pace. They will have expectation and they'll try to read how their opponents might try to change things up. Markelov is a happy chappy. I'm sure Anders is in his bubble bath as well with his framed picture of Markelov. Waterproof, of course, on the side. I'm sure he's got the scented candles going on, probably chanting as well, knowing Anders. 8-1 for Flipside, and if Flipside are A, able to win this match, and B, with a dominant performance / scoreline, then that bodes well for them mentally going into their next match to stay and proceed in this major. But for now we'll focus on the current game. 8-1, by no means is it over, and FaZe can still recover and have a reasonable score in this half. As bad as it looks now, 7-8 is still possible for FaZe Clan.
And we can see that Flipside are going for some mid-development here. They've got one player on underpass, they got the smoke on catwalk there to allow 3 players to come up top mid as well. And Blade tossing a flash into the short position there for his teammates as they make their way up quickly. And Blade trying to get some damage done there towards Connector, but his teammates will be the ones to do all the damage as they march in incredibly quickly into that B bomb site. They've cleared it out, and again, you have to note the just great use of both timing, coordination, and utility from Flipside.
Lots of mollies in CPL, but mid is a dangerous place on the anti-eco for the T players. So many areas for the CTs to peek. You saw things could have been much worse for them around Connector, for example. But it's successful for them this time. 9-1 en route. Of course, this is the buy between, or even is it? Let me have a look. Yep. They've got just shy of $3,000 for the most part, FaZe Clan, so back to full buy territory thanks to their lost bonus. Their lost bonus is their only friends at present. In the first half of Mirage, Flipside just shy of double figures.
And it does remind me of when we watched Big yesterday, just because Big also were really good at just having great coordination and timing and use of utility, and just having these very well developed rounds where seemingly they're covering a lot of space, they're just basically shaking up the CT rotation massively, and having that perfect timing to actually capitalize. And that's something that some teams aren't so good at, is, you know, okay, we can force the CT rotation, but then we don't have good timing to actually punish it, and that's very difficult to do effectively. And so far Flipside, they look like they're in their elements.
This is the aggression I was talking about. FaZe trying to take the game away from their opponents, back-to-back, Nico and Rain. However, again, Flipside, they're prepared for this. This is not a big issue for them. Waylander is top of mid at the moment, just keeping an eye on things. And you can see how he's going for the shoulder peaks. He's not just standing there holding the angle. You know, that can be tiresome for a player to just stare at something, and it can slow down your reactions, as well as having an extra element of surprise by just going backwards and forwards. Nico now in the underpass position, but still, they're kind of halfway there, FaZe. They don't really have the information guaranteed, and Kishima is deep towards A on his own. Waylander, though, running into Palace, just about won't be heard. See Blade taking the odd shot here and there. So what does Carrigan make of this? They have minimal information, FaZe. The sound has been cut from Flipside, and they are out of position.
And we've seen Flipside run this sort of around in a very fast manner, but this is a much slower one. So just trying to alter the pace here to just keep the mix-ups going there for the FaZe clan to deal with. Electronic will take down Kiyashima, who goes aggressive, but neutralized is the result, and the bomb site is taken. Another solid result here for Flipside, but FaZe going to actually battle their way back in. They have multiple prongs to attack with, and that's a great distraction for the flag to do its magic.
Blade takes down Rain, but what do you expect? Nico coming in from the back as well. Nico's made his way towards Palace. They've got time, but they don't have any defuse kits, these FaZe clan players, so maybe not as much time as you would expect. Karrigan taken down. We might have flanks on flanks. Electronic near jungle, could go towards CT, but for now, he will hold his position. Nico coming out of the Palace, but too many angles for him, leaving Alu alone, and he won't be lasting long either. The worst has happened. So there was some potential. As that push came in and Kiyashima was picked off, there was a two-man push from the CTs through B apartments, turning into a flank, but Blade was ready for it. Blade is everywhere. Blade is omnipresent, Dan. Blade is Daedalus in Deus Ex.
It's quite scary, isn't it? It's just such a well-oiled machine. It's as though they're, running everything against, I don't want to say, bots necessarily, but it's just the fact that their plan is their drills are just working, just without a hitch. And FaZe aren't able to even bring any of these rounds into clutch situations, really. So that's really, really scary, because of course that's one thing that FaZe are amazing at, the clutch situations, because they have such a crazy strong lineup of individual players, but very tough life for them. At this point, the best result is 5 rounds in the first half, which against Flipside is always going to be worrying. But if they are even able to get to 3 at this rate, that's going to be something that would be quite surprising, considering how well Flipside have been playing and how well they've been reading the game as well. FaZe will do their best though, and they do have Ali on an AWP, so there is hope here for them. He might not be looking the right way in time, and that's Alu completely dead. So very dead. Didn't even really get a chance to turn around and pull the trigger.
Blade deserves this as well. He is maybe a criminally underrated in-game leader because of the struggles that they can sometimes have. But, we've been fans of his strats way back when in the days of that team. He looked at like the Astralis or the NIP for nuke strats, but that team was there as well, had some really fast plays towards day on the old nuke, as well as other maps. So he knows that his team are good enough for this, for an 11-1 scoreline versus FaZe. But can they close it out? It's all good. It's only one half. It's only one half, and by no means is the half over. Nico on the high ground. Nico dead. Round over.
Indeed, just going to go back and save. And another interesting storyline from that perspective too is just some of the old IGLs just remaining in a position of success in some senses. Again, not to call it early for Flipside. Obviously, we can see that Blade still has the IGLing powers, and obviously God B is also doing well this tournament with Big, and you can see the impact that God B has had strategically and tactically on his team. And also, it's just as a leadership figure, and the in-game leading it doesn't just happen inside the game. It's leadership outside of the game as well, especially to the younger players, the upcoming talent that you might have coming into your lineup that you have to kind of grill into shape and also just help to condition them from the psychological perspective, because you have all that experience already, and that's the level of experience that a man like Blade can bring.
You can see the stress on Nico's face. Only 4 kills, half the kills of Markoloff at the moment. Alu with 8, along with Karrigan. Electronic and Wild did it, and Waylander with 12. A team effort for Flipside, a team effort, and that's what you need with a leader like Blade behind you. Everybody on the same page, all firing in the same direction. This is a fight for FaZe, and they've gone with aggression. Look at all of these smokes. That could be a serious problem. Nico's going to get tagged in the leg, but it's they with the advantage. Waylander going through the smoke into the sandwich position, but has he been detected? He definitely has now. 2 players looking for him, leaving Wild at it alone. He's headed towards the B bomb site, and Karrigan's still there. Might be having a look towards the B position. In fact, he's going into position, and that is not the surprise that Wild it needed or wanted. Finally, FaZe get their second round on the board. They won the first round and they won that round as well. But it's been a very arid landscape in between, leaving it an 11-2 scoreline.
Yeah, something. It's like a pouch of water that's been dropped in the desert when you've been searching desperately for something to drink, and let's see if that can keep them going long enough until they can find that oasis. It's going to be quite the struggle indeed. It's double AWP here and some aggression. Carrigan kicks things off very well. Nice pick off there from him. And Nico is close with the AK. Taking down Blade, catching him off guard. That's a good start here from FaZe. In fact, an even better start. Nico's perhaps a bit angry here. It's going to be unleashing some of that anger, relieving some of that tension onto the Flipside players as we enter a 4 versus 1. So perhaps there's Flipside have actually lost some steam at this point, but I suppose they've already gotten to 11 rounds, so they'll be certainly in a position of comfort.
Yeah, but you don't want to give anything to FaZe. 4 rounds could be enough for FaZe. Could be enough. Could be just a ticket, just a badger. Kishima spotted, nice shoulder picking from Waylander, taking a lot of damage, but he can still do more. It's the T's who have the money in this situation. Every kill is going to hurt. Doesn't matter if he plants the bomb or not. There aren't many rounds remaining, but if he picks off 1 or 2 more players, it's going to be very expensive for FaZe moving forward, but he won't do that. So FaZe's money will be somewhat stable moving into the last round, and I'm sure they can spread that money around so everybody has a rifle. I love that the 1v1 screen is only in the replay and not during the game, where it's merely annoying for me at least. But that's my opinion, not facts. Last round of the first half, double AWPs for FaZe. They are afforded shiny toys, but only in the very last rounds.
Lots of fast nades though from Flipside into middle to take it over quickly. A faster pace once again from them, but a counter incendiary will slow the roll of Waylander, who was trying to make his way up quite quickly, but he will now be further joined by his teammates. Good tagging there through the smoke onto Rain, who will reposition. And Flipside have middle, and they've shown that they are very good at developing the rounds out of mid-control. That's a little bit crazy, isn't it?
The man knows his angles.
Yeah, that is scary for FaZe.
Yes, this is a much needed 4th round for FaZe. It's only 1 digit on the scoreboard, but it means so much more. It's a huge round for them to win, and a devastating round for them to lose. Nico on the ramp. He has 2 guests, but he's not feeling very welcoming to guests at the moment. No Sunday roast for, well, the Blade. The barbecue is closed. The bomb in possession of Nico. 2 versus 4, make it 3. 1 player known. I guess he's might have been in 1 electronics position. Great spray by Nico, and that should be the round shut down, but let's not count that mark. He's got 1 kill so far, but he's blind as Rain strafes to finish off the job. 4 rounds for FaZe, a fighting chance.
And I love the off angle that Nico took as well, because he's much further away from the corner than the T's would be in that spot, and they're in a much tighter position, so he gets a slightly more time to react and get those frags. So a very favourable situation from the play from, and he just plays it perfectly and gets that double kill here. And there you can see the angle. It's like double the distance away from the corner there. That's how you want to do it. Nico, a masterclass LCS in that round with the M4, and that's going to be an effort that will pay off into that 4th round for FaZe, but it's quite the climb back. We saw Penta able to accomplish that against Vega just previously. Will FaZe be the 2nd team to do so on Mirage here today?
Well then, what is Blade up to? He was almost lining up to flash mid from CT spawn, it looks like. But now he's going to be heading over towards speed bomb, so he will be the 3rd man there. It is a rush from the team. Waylander hasn't quite spotted Carrigan just yet, and just takes him down with almost his last bullet. Being very patient, manages to eke out another kill onto Rain, so this is a good pistol round so far for Flipside. However, FaZe are still in it, and they still have possession of the bomb.
So now it's going to slow down somewhat as FaZe decide to use all the time allotted to them, which is just over a minute. And that's important because, as we can see, Flipside, they're starting to think, okay, they're waiting right now, so rather they've disappeared and some time has passed. That means now they could actually be towards the A side of the map, so they have to naturally split up, and that will allow FaZe to have some better engagements, or at least less players to initially deal with. But Flipsid have very good positions right now.
Yeah, Electronics' position in Palace is really important, and it negates almost every plant spot on the A site. Although if the T's, well, never mind that. Let's see what the T's managed to do in a situation. Despite that, they don't really have many eyes on Connector. So while that it's trying to look at Connector to A, but also Connector to B. So he's kind of in two minds at the moment. Maybe should commit to one in the meantime. Nico's been picked off, but still no bomb. Nico spotted on short will reveal the plan. Waylander gets his 4th kill of the round. Again, very patient with the shots early on when he really needed to be. He did a lot for his team in that round. And the worst has happened for FaZe. 4-12, you've lost a pistol. You've got very little choice left over now. You may be, well, their hand is definitely forced into a forced buy in round number 17.
And Waylander is the player that we didn't really mention too much at the beginning, and he's having a large result so far for the team with those 19 kills of his. And FaZe have almost used up they've almost used all their timeouts. There we go. Let's spat it out in the end. And I do enjoy the fact that they are trying to make the best use of the timeout. Some teams, it's a sad shame when you see a team having a problem or having a hard game, and then to see that they've not used a timeout until, like, you know, the last rounds, essentially. That's never good, but I'm sure FaZe are going to be able to rally themselves here and get themselves back into the game. It's always tough to lose those pistol rounds, and I'm curious what they'll do with this force buy of theirs. Indeed, we've got only 3 grenades, 2 smokes and a flashbang. Looks like they're going to just rush into the A site and just pray for the best.
Throwing smoke. Grenade out. Grenade.
Pistols, 2 smoke grenades, 1 flashbang.
Affirmative.
That is, those are the hopes and prayers of FaZe in round 17. Nico unable to get anything going in the middle area. Difficult to try and pull some plays away from A or get some kills. And he will join his team. In fact, he's going to go for entries. Nico's in hold my beer mode, but the CTs aren't giving him much of anything. Slowly creeping in, won't have the angle to see Electronic moving back. Seems that the CTs will be content playing retake here. The grenades flying in. Karrigan opting for the inverse plant, then going for the one around the corner from triple, then realizing he was completely exposed and planting for the smokes instead. Nice adjustment from him, an important one. FaZe backing out of the side.
Look how patient Flipsid are being with this retake. They're not rushing in, they're not taking any risks, they're going to allow the plant, they're going to get into position first, but this is cool. We're seeing 2 members from FaZe actually rotating into middle. That's kind of insane. But there's still Waylander who's sitting there with the M4, and he's perhaps predicting this play as the rest of his teammates now start to clean the bomb site. In fact, there's one player in connector for FaZe, but there's also another flanker coming in. It's Nico going to go all the way through the back here. Now, oh, he can't make it there in time. Absolutely gutting stuff there for Nico. It's a good attempt though in the round, but once again, just the patience from Flipsid cannot be understated.
Yeah, but again, presence of mind from Flipsid. That entire time on that retake, Waylander was staying on short. I mean, maybe they watched the previous game from Mir. They realized the bomb was planted on short, and probably it was in the back of their minds they could be going for an apartments play. But you don't often see that in that situation so late from the FaZe clan. So maybe it was a split-second decision with a 2-man rotation. Unfortunately for FaZe, it didn't work out. FaZe clan currently in the middle of their last timeout, and I don't know who's talking on that team. Maybe it was Roban in the back, but the players may be out of ideas at this point. A 9-round deficit, only 4 on the board, none of which have come in the 2 rounds in this half just yet. Force buy after force buy. FaZe clan in the second half looking like Force clan because they have little option left. I think Flipsid, of the choices, probably the worst opponent they could get out of the 3, and Flipsid is showing them why.
Absolutely. And Blade getting some fast info there on mid, it's always nice. And he actually tagged Nico, I think, or someone tagged Nico quite significantly. What it is there to back up as well. And perhaps with the MP9 showing they're a top mid, they thought that they could easily get a trade kill or fast fragging situation, but just baited into the AWP of World Edit. And that's a man down early here for FaZe in a situation where they really need every single man. He needs every single round. Flipside are mere 3 away from victory, and with a 5 versus 4, they can just play passively now and just use that man advantage. Don't need as much information. Just have to play safe positions and they'll be good to go, and that's what they're doing.
Smoke.
Alu and Nico creeping around connector. The bomb, though, headed towards Kirishima on B, so will it ultimately be a short play? Nico has a smoke grenade. Could be used for connector, could be used on short if it is to be a B play. They're looking for entries, maybe trying to sort of fake for the time being, trying to pull rotation, but they'll be pulled into a black hole thanks to World Edit. Karrigan's making his way toward the connector area while Kirishima's still here towards B. And Markov is simply waiting to finish him off. 2 players now to stop Flipside getting to their 14th round.
Nico getting a nice kill onto Electronic now as the bomb makes its way onto A. World Edit waits though. They sneak in the grass for the moment to strike. Does miss that shot, but Waylander's there to back him up. Nico now alone. Another quick frag made there by Nico. That's 2 in the round for him. He's got no time to collect the bomb or get the kills. It's a desperate and very sad way to exit this round. Can he even survive after time? Oh dear. Oh, that's so painful. You can see it on his face as well. This is a very tough pill to swallow right now that Flipside are giving to FaZe.
Yeah, it's not a pill being taken already, Dan. Well then, let's see what FaZe have to offer in round number 19. Blade holding down mid for the time being. An AWP, 2 UMPs, and the pistols. Death by paper cuts, perhaps, for FaZe if they are to prove unsuccessful in this round, because they've got to be really careful at every decision they make now.
Roger.
Tension here as Ali looks for a pick. Flipside not giving anything away though. They know they have FaZe on their last legs. Alu missing, whiffing a shot there. Bit of pressure coming in onto mid now. Alu under a lot of pressure. He's perhaps in trouble getting tagged down to 41 health. He does have some backup though, and his teammates will arrive now from underpass.
Look at the risk minimization from Flipside. They must have heard the cavalry running through underpass coming to help Alu out. And they just got out of there. They just got out of the connector position for the most part. Electronic will stay a bit too long. And now Kishima's boost has been successful, and there are advantages for FaZe.
Great peek there from Nico out the palace to punish World Edit. He was looking down into connector where all the traffic has been going. Markov now looking for some wall bangs. Ooh, cheeky stuff almost, but he'll turn his back and be taken down unceremoniously. And around for FaZe as they make things slightly easier for themselves, but the climb is so significant right now. It's very difficult. This is the test. This is the true test. Your back is against the wall when there is no margin for error, when your tournament life is on the line.
It may end up being a test for both teams. If Flipside's money gets broken, World Edit and Waylander on the AWP. Double AWPs and 3 pistols, or say if the money's been broken, it already has. So now is the test. You're so close. A few people would expect you to win, kicking things off here. So you've got a chance to cause an upset and show that by no means are you out of this tournament. And that's where a test of temerity will come in for Flipside as well as FaZe, despite this advantage. We've seen matches lost at 14 rounds versus not much. The comeback definitely possible for FaZe, but can they keep their heads in the game?
The setup here is good for Flipside. They have so many players who can quickly attack this middle position. Just look at these crossfires. There's so many crossfires, and Markov peeks out, finds the head of Alu, and that'll be sent rolling down the catwalk now as we get the push coming in from FaZe. Waylander in position. They've read this play, and oh, the flick is stunning there from Waylander. Just leaves Nico in the apartments alone. 1 versus 4. He does pick off World at it, but he's got so much to do. Pulls out the deagle, but Waylander will finish him off. That was a perfectly positioned round from Flipside once again.
Flipside are looking like absolute monsters. Markelov's picked up the AWP as well. Maybe this is an Anders special, I don't know. Triple ops on the CT side. This is, well, definitely a Brazilian special. SK love this kind of stuff. Maybe birthed in Oceania, who knows. But that was a Dust 2 special. This is Mirage. Great snap there from Waylander, delivering for his team. Flipside looking laser focused. What a scoreline this might be. Might be, isn't just yet. Kirishima with the 1 AK for FaZe. Lots of grenades, but do they have the coordination? Do they have... Is this enough for them? Has it looked like it on any side, in almost any round of this map?
The good thing, though, for FaZe, not many good things you can talk about, but the good thing that you can say for a round like this is if they are to run a smoke set piece, you know, against 3 AWPs, that is actually the ideal ideal way, there we go, to actually handle it, because of course you block off all the visibility for the AWP as you get the bomb down. You can push close range behind the smokes. That's absolutely the best way to handle a multiple AWPing situation, but they are quite spread out at the moment. And some of the nades are now being used, I think, towards middle. And they are still waiting to come together, but Electronics there ready and waiting. Oh, good start here from FaZe, exactly what they need.
CT's in a retake situation. Markelov with a nice kill onto Rain, who was boosted up. It's 40 seconds. And it's Carrigan's turn to go and rotate for the short play. He's making his way towards B apartments, but if he goes there, Waylander will hear him in apartments himself from short B. And it's Markelov now and Waylander. The double ops once again. Kishima in connector. Carrigan moving top mid, so Waylander could get exposed here. He's surely going to get taken down. Carrigan's got to be careful with that Tech 9. It's not easy for him, Carrigan. He's been spotted, but that might just win the tease the round. Waylander falls from his position. Ali on the flank with Markelov. The deagle's there, though. So the AWPs may remain. Markelov on all of 5 HP as he tries to escape to B. Oh no, he's missed! Oh, they're going to both die. Maybe not. Maybe not. A 6th round on the board for FaZe.
Expensive though, and you know, I think they spent all their monies pretty much. So, well, not quite. They had a few extra dollars in the bank there, and of course some kills as well. So, just enough money to get the full AK, full grenades, but not too much more than that. So, as you said, you know, really would have paid off massively for, you know, let's say Alu to be able to have received the kill onto Markelov.
This is the round that Anders lives for. Flipside have nothing apart from Markelov on the AWP. It's Markelov versus the world in this round. That's literally what it is. Markelov has to make a play. In some situations, it might be map dependent. You just see Diorpa try and get into an aggressive position on Cash, for example, by Markelov. He's over towards triple. He's got many targets, and he's going to be good for 1. And now he's dead, unfortunately for him. 3 pistols remain for Flipside. Doing some damage to Nico. They've got nothing to lose here at this point, Flipside. Blade's going to make a play. Pick on the AWP. There's no cover from CT. That's a nice play from him. And it's Waylander that remains. Coming in from T-Spawn. Could be the last place they expect. Nico slowing things down. Moving to Sandwich. Waylander might go on the search, and the time may pay off. Has he made a noise? It seems like he has. Nico will come out and rip his face off. And that will be the round.
That sound at the start of every single round for FaZe, the sound that means that one of the teams is on match point and it's not them, is quite an annoying reminder, to be honest. That it's a reminder that you can't lose a round, a reminder that you can't put a foot wrong, you can't make a mistake. Every single round, that's what that sound means for FaZe at the moment. But at the very least, they have Flipside on a pistol buy. It's a buy without Kevlar, really, apart from Electronic. A couple grenades for Electronic and Markelov, perhaps to toss in towards the the B apartments, I believe. I think that's where they are at the moment. Indeed. Well, actually, no, they're split up. Electronics towards the pit position. Markov is towards B, so I'm quite curious about the HE decision, to be honest, actually. The single HE. It's just so hit and miss, isn't it? It's just so... It either does you know...
There are 2 HEs.
Yeah, but they're on either side.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so just it's kind of like a single HE. It's very hard to get that single HE to be meaningful, but we'll see if they can make it work.
Bomb is in Biaps. Not to be confused with Biatch. That literally means nothing. I just wanted to say that down. FaZe Clan clearing out the connector area. They look good for a split of the B bomb sites. Markelov, though, is in a sneaky position. I didn't even realize that he could have angles towards short from there. I haven't seen this angle before. Normally people look into the B apartments. That is a lovely one dig from him, and they're going to have no idea, surely no idea where that came from. There's baiting going on, but the clean out is there. The street sweepers are here for FaZe. Electronic, though, he still remains.
He's just running in. That's absolutely brazen stuff there from Electronic. And he has them running. It's crazy. Oh man, I had the Star Wars flashback. There's like Han Solo just running down the hallway. This is pretty ridiculous. As Blade now comes in, he will be eventually taken out. But yeah, it's quite funny to see Electronic running in there like Han Solo with the pistol, and he'll be taken out eventually. It's another round for FaZe, but indeed such a climb back for them. And finally, Flipsid, they've been waiting for this moment for a while now. Quite a few rounds have passed since they saw a decent buy, but here it is again. What did it back on the AWP, and 4 grenades for everybody, including all the incendiaries, and 4 kits. Must be nice.
What must be nice is if they're able to take round number 16. FaZe just north of half the score of Flipside. It's a long way to go, but if you're a Flipside fan, you better not feel comfortable until they have the W, if they are to even get there. Nico top mid, 4 players towards A for FaZe. 2 high, 2 on the low. And Flipside have looked to bolster their setup for B, and there might be a push coming in from way down, but can they get the information fast enough? That's the question. Apparently not, because FaZe are already making their way into the A site. Great bursts by Blades, but he'll be traded by Carrigan.
Such a fast play, and it's interesting that there's a player lurking in top mid. Indeed, it's Nico takes that way down. He was waiting for the rotation from B. Such a smart play there from FaZe to increase the odds they make this, but this next peek from Worded, it could be the make or break in this position. As the trade doesn't happen there for Worded. He just watches Electronic die, and now the pressure mounts to try to get something out of this, but it's looking unlikely at this point. Now that it's a 4 versus 2, FaZe looks solid in this position to continue to the W, and they will indeed get the W, at least in this very round, as they still have quite the way to go. But another eco is in store for Flipside now.
Yeah, but this is this 8-15 suddenly looks like a 10-15 because Flipside don't have the cash. They don't got the cash. But we've seen how dangerous they can be on eco round. So yes, no round is a given until it is over. But this is... you know, if I'm a Flipside fan, I'm nervous until they've won, if they win.
I mean, you've seen it before, haven't you, from Flipside and Majors, where they have struggled to close the game. I feel like this isn't that same kind of Flipside squad, but at the same time, you know, there's always the worry for everyone. You know, as you say, the game's not over until it's over, and even when you're down in this situation, you're 9-15. If you're having if you're getting that momentum, if you're hitting your shots, you know, things can feel good. And that can be difficult to play against, even if you are the team that just needs a single round. Sometimes things can start to seem impossible, start to run out of ideas. So we see the peak battle here between the 2 AWPers, and Ali winning that very important AWP duel. Well, did it won that one, then it's a real chance for a retake, but Ali shut it down.
Pistol play for the CTs, 2-man push into Palace. Nico's on the ramp, but if he tries to stop them coming back out of Palace and kill them, he's exposed to various other places. So they have to give up that weapon. They have to concede the AK. There's not much else they can do. Nico, though, still looking for something. Maybe running this faction, keeping them entertained, because The response is a B push, but Markov is already on the high ground, and you can see for the time being, Flipside, they can just wait in the market. They've got 4 players in the market area. Markov being slow spotted now, but everybody has exited the high ground. Nico, though, is on the flank. There's so many things to play that could change. Blade's charging through, but he can't get a kill. He's made some plays, but not the whole lot. Markov now trying to get some kills. He needs a second one before Nico comes in from the back. Blade's getting tagged. There's more CTs streaming through. Well did it now. Last man standing, picked up himself up an AWP. 1v1 versus Nico. He knows where Nico is. He's baiting the defuse, but surely he doesn't have a kit. Indeed, he doesn't have one. He's holding it. Nico, does he commit? Creeping out, preying on Nico. Does he believe? He's down to 17 HP. A jumping pistol could do this, but surely there's no time. I think Nico's done his job already, and indeed he has, but it's cost them absolutely everything.
And well, they can't save the AWP. That's a pretty important feature there, but you can imagine that in the initial players of FaZe who died at the start there, that they're thinking just, you know, not like this, not like this after all this effort. To lose to the eco round, that's never how you want it to happen, should it happen indeed, and it's an unceremonious way to exit. But we've got the Byron back in here for Flipside, and FaZe themselves full buy as well. Ali on the AWP as we are used to seeing, and we have a really fast round here. FaZe looking to potentially go for a really quick split through connector and up T-pit through onto the A site. This could be very dangerous for Flipside.
Vintage FaZe clan strats coming out. So Kiyoshima's special. Kiyoshima's in the red. Kiyashima absolutely dead. Grenades flying in. They know Rain's there as well. 2 for 0. Well, then it will finally get traded. Alu makes his way into sandwich. Smoked off, so that might save Blade. It won't save Blade. Markov picked off as well. This is spinning around straight back into favor of FaZe. Getting planted, or perhaps not quite yet. Nico has to stand his ground. Electronic on the high ground himself. Last man standing, the bomb is down again, the 1 versus 1. It's Carrigan, the in-game leader, the talisman for FaZe. He can't do it. Flipside, hello, have finally done it. 16 to 10. They've taken it over the line. They had so many rounds to do it, and eventually they did.
And amazing stuff as well for the young blood for Electronic, the up-and-comer.